Hello everyone, I'm North Hempstead Town Supervisor Judy Bosworth. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, we have embarked on creating a virtual exercise series for our senior residents. We partnered with our Project Independence fitness instructors to host these virtual classes, which will allow you to stay fit and healthy by participating from the safety of your home. Please enjoy.
Good morning. My name is Rebecca, and I will be guiding you through this Restorative Yin class. For Restorative Yin, we're going to be on the mat for the entire class. You should have props handy. I have my blocks, I have a bolster, and I have a couple of rolled up towels just in case I need them. You may not need any props at all, though I do advise using the props because this is going to be a guided restorative class. And these props just help to bring the earth closer and help you to open up and hold the pose a little bit longer. If you don't have blocks, you can use hard-covered books. If you don't have a bolster like this, you can grab a pillow or two. And of course, you can just roll up towels or a blanket. So let's all start by finding a nice, comfortable seat on the mat. Just finding a yoga, comfortable seat. Crown of the head is reaching up toward the sky. Shoulders are stacked over the hips. And trying to find balance in the seat. We all tend to favor one side or another. So to start to ground down and balance out, just move from side to side, just gently, kind of just leaning to one side or the other. And then start to slow down and notice that you have become a little bit more balanced in your seat. We're just going to start out by taking some gentle breaths in and out through the nose. So start by breathing in through the nose, nice in breath, and then a slow exhale to release that breath. Again, breathing in through the nose, taking a little bit of a deeper breath, noticing the lungs starting to expand, and then a slow exhale to release and let go and soften. In breaths, even a little bit deeper now. Really filling up the lungs, noticing that the chest rises up toward the sky. Exhale, slow exhale to release. And then just return to the rhythm of your natural breath. The next time we take a deep breath in, I want you to think of something positive, something that brings you joy. So as you're bringing your breath in, you're bringing in positive energy deep into your lungs. So go ahead and think of something nice and positive. Take a full breath in, and then that slow exhale to release the breath, allowing the body to soften. Notice the shoulders get a little softer. And again, that deep breath in, positive energy coming into your body, and a slow exhale to release. Beautiful. One more time. Nice, full, positive breath in. And on that slow exhale, just release and notice your seat becoming even more balanced on the earth, really melting in there. And then returning to the rhythm of your natural breath. Let's all bring our arms to a T. We're going to turn our palms up, connecting to the breath here. We're going to inhale the arms up, Fingertips reaching to the sky, arms are nice and engaged, and then turn the palms down toward the earth. A nice slow exhale, connecting movement to breath. Inhale, we rise up, maybe gazing up, and exhale, we're going to lower down. Fingertips tap the earth, chin to chest, and then again, arms rising up on the inhale, gazing up toward the sky. Facing the palms down, exhale, chin to the chest, fingertips tap the earth. And then we're going to go ahead and bring the hands up. This time, palms and fingers together, lowering to heart center. So go ahead and set an intention for your class today. And that intention is something that you intend to accomplish. And maybe that's to find balance in your class or alignment, or perhaps just getting to class today is what you intended to accomplish. So congratulations. So go ahead and set that intention. And then set a dedication to someone or something that brings you joy. Could be a friend or a pet. So when you come back to your dedication throughout your class today, you'll be filled with joy and not stress. So don't think about something stressful. Nice full breath in. And slow, long exhale. And then on your next inhale, bring those fingertips up toward the sky. Cross all the fingers on both hands. Turn the palms up and slowly exhale, pushing your palms forward as you lower down, connecting to that exhale. Exhales, we're lowering down. Inhale, pushing those arms up until the palms are pushing up toward the sky. And then exhale, pushing forward, lowering down. And then bringing those arms up one more time. Nice. And then we're going to lower our hands onto the front of the knees. So we're just going to do a little shorter warm-up than we would do normally because this class is restorative in nature and we'll be doing a lot of those sequences that we normally do to warm up those certain parts of the body while we're on the mat. So let's just find that yoga seat, shoulders stacked, crown of the head's reaching up, and we're going to warm up the cervical spine. So just gaze to the right and pause, and then center and pause, and to the left and pause. And just do that a few times, slowly warming up the cervical spine. And then we're going to be gazing forward, and we're going to continue to warm up the cervical spine, warming up the neck by slowly lowering the right ear toward the right shoulder. So you want to lower the right ear toward the shoulder. You don't want to bring that shoulder up. So the right ear is lowering toward the shoulder. You're stretching out the left side of the neck, making sure your spine is aligned and shoulders are stacked over the hips. Breathing in and out, gentle breaths in, gentle breaths out. Nice. And then slowly exhale, rolling your chin towards your chest. And then we're going to roll the head back until you're gazing at the tile right over your head. Don't go back further than that yet. And then gazing forward. So now we're going to slowly start to lower the left ear toward the left shoulder. So we're stretching out the right side of the neck. Don't hold your breath. I do a lot of cueing of breath work. If I'm not, it doesn't mean you should hold your breath. Just focus on your natural breath here, in and out through the nose. And then exhale, rolling your chin toward the chest. And then rolling the head back, nice and slowly. And gazing forward. So from here on in, we're going to be starting to recline onto the mat. So go ahead and stretch those legs out a little bit. Maybe flex the feet, get some rotation in the ankles. And we're going to face the foot of your mat. And go ahead and grab your blocks or your books and keep them handy for now. We're going to first reach onto the bolster. So you're going to place the bolster a long way across the foot of the mat, just like I have mine. And we're going to move ourselves slowly into reclining butterfly pose using the bolster. So we're going to move our seat nice and close to the bolster or to the pillow. And you're going to place your feet on top of the pillow or the bolster. If you prefer not to use a bolster, you can take the same position onto the mat. Though I do recommend, this is a nice restorative class, And it will help you to open up just as much if you're not using your props. So my feet are together. They're on the mat. If you notice your feet are hanging over the edge, put something under the feet. You want the feet to be supported just as much as you want the legs to be supported. So once you've got good position and you feel that you're ready to recline, use your hands to slowly allow the body to roll onto the mat. One of the things that you'll notice now is that your seat has come a little bit further away from the mat. And if you want, you can shimmy down toward the mat. That'll make this pose a little bit more intense, or you could stay where you are. So this is a reclining butterfly pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. And what's happening here is we're starting to open up our hips. And this class, I'm going to focus a lot on the lower part of the body. We're not going to forget about our shoulders and upper back, but we're really going to focus on opening up the hips and then stretching throughout this class. So one of the things that you can do to really kind of open up and just feel a little bit more comfortable in this pose is to make sure your feet are touching. They don't have to be pushing together, but they should be touching. Once you've got that set, I want you to gently close your eyes here. The back of your hands should be on the mat with your palms facing up toward the sky. And once you've done that, you can maybe just start to walk your shoulder blades together underneath you. So you're opening up your chest a little bit here. Now, to really find that nice comfort in the reclining butterfly pose, I want you to notice your lower back and the connection your lower back has to the mat. We're going to take a nice full breath in, nice positive breath in, a very slow exhale, releasing any tension you might be holding in that lower back. Really think about it kind of floating out on your exhale. So nice full breath in. And nice slow exhale, releasing that from the lower back. And once you've done that, you should notice the difference between when you release tension, that connection that the lower back has with the mat. So before, when you kind of were still tight, to when you exhale. And once you exhale and release that tension, you're gonna find a more comfortable reclining butterfly pose as well. The hips might open up a little bit more naturally. If you have blocks or a book, and this is really uncomfortable, please come out of it. Don't think you have to, come deeper into the pose. Another thing you could do is if you have blocks or books, you can put those blocks underneath your knee, maybe closer up toward the thigh to lift up. And once you have found comfort in there, then just return to your butterfly pose. Palms are reaching up toward the sky. Go ahead and take that nice full deep breath in. Slow exhale. And again, deep breath in, really, really letting go from that lower back. And as you're letting go, I want you to notice the better connection the lower back has with your mat. And then maybe your hips are opening up a little bit more. So we'll be in this pose for about another minute. In Restorative Yin, we're holding poses longer. We're getting into poses a little bit deeper, and we're using props. Props are part of the restorative practice. Yin is where we hold the pose for longer periods of time to get a little bit deeper into the tissue of the body. So together, Restorative Yin, we're holding the pose a little bit longer. We're using props for that restorative part. Listening to the body, very important. Something doesn't feel right, go ahead then push your feet together, bring the knees together and bring them into your chest. Listen to the body, it knows, it's telling you what it needs. Take 2 more full deep breaths in here. In through the nose, slow exhale. Just releasing and letting go, beautiful. So we're gonna start to come out of this restorative reclining pose. So you're going to push the feet together a little more with a slightly more force. As you're doing that, go ahead and bring the knees together. Bring those knees into the chest, nice and slow, and give yourself a hug. Maybe move from side to side. You're going to then just move that pillow or bolster, whatever you have, to the side, because we are going to be using it in just a moment. But we're first just going to do a little more exercise on the hips to stretch them out. So heel toe your feet to the edges of the mat. Your hips were in that pose for almost four minutes. So we're going to just windshield wiper our legs out with your feet on the edges of the mat. Just go ahead and lower the legs to the right, bring them up, and then lower to the left. And just do that a few times. Nice. And then bring those knees up. You're going to bring the knees in and out. So rotating the hips now in a different way. Beautiful. So go ahead and heel toe those feet together. Now we're going to start to stretch out the hips and also the legs. We're going to be doing this on the right side. So go ahead and grab whatever props you have, your pillow or your blocks, and just have them handy for you. And then first we're going to come into this pose by bringing our knees into our chest. Give yourself a nice hug here. Notice the contact that the shoulders have with the earth, the mid back, the lower back. You're going to take both hands, crisscross fingers on both hands, and bring your hands down around the right shin. So we're going to be moving into this pose. I don't want you pushing down. I don't want you to overbend that right knee. Just kind of gently keep them placed here just for a moment. You're going to send that left foot up nice and high and slowly lower that extended left leg until it taps on the mat. The left foot is going to remain flexed throughout this sequence. So you can see my left foot is flexed, keeping that left leg fully engaged. Now we're going to move on to the right leg. So I've got my left foot flexed. I'll be cueing you to remind you to keep that left foot flexed. We're going to start to slide that right knee behind you, kind of in the direction of your armpit. So maybe you'll open the leg a little bit to the right and then just start sliding. What I do is I kind of like take my palms and squeeze my shin just a little bit, and then I kind of help it to move behind me. So I keep really stretching out that hip and the leg, the quads, the left foot is flexed still. And now we're going to connect this sequence to breathing. So we take that nice full breath in, and on the exhale, when the body softens, that's when you're going to start to slide that right knee toward the right elbow. And the right armpit. And just continue to do that for about 2 breaths. At any point, if that left knee doesn't feel right, you can always slide a block under the left knee, a pillow. I always have a couple of rolled blankets handy. Sometimes I'll put a blanket. Sometimes I don't need it, but you should always have it available. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move the bolster to our right side. You can use your bolster, you can use your block, you can use whatever you have available. And we're going to slowly open that right leg onto the bolster. Just kind of place it there. You can move the bolster further away or closer to the body. You'll notice the further away the bolster gets from the body, it gets a little bit more intense because that right leg will open up a little bit more. So for now, just place that leg comfortably on the bolster or your pillow or even blocks. You can use the blocks too. My left foot is still flexed. You're going to take your left hand and just place the left hand right on top of the left hip, just kind of guiding that left hip to stay close to the earth. So you're not kind of lifting up, coming onto your side. You're going to place the right hand on the inside of that right leg, maybe the thigh or the knee or the whole arm, whatever is more comfortable. And we're going to connect to breath here. So let's make sure the shoulders have good contact with the earth. The left foot's flexed. The left palm is pushing gently on that left hip. The right hand is gently pushing to open up the hip. So we're going to connect to breath by taking a nice full breath in. And on that slow exhale, just gently guide the left hip toward the earth and the right leg onto the bolster. Because remember, those exhales, that's when the body softens. That's when we could come deeper into our poses. So again, nice full breath in. And that slow exhale, guiding the left hip toward the earth and that right leg toward the bolster. Take 2 more breaths on this side. Maybe engage your Ujjayi Pranayama breath on the exhale. That's that sound the body makes. It sounds like an ocean wave. You breathe in and exhale. Makes that nice sound. So now from here, we're going to slowly start to bring the knees together. So maybe just walk that left foot in toward you and then bring the knees together to join and moving from side to side. Nice. So you should stay where you are. I am just going to turn so you have a better view of my left side and what I'm doing with the bolster and the blocks. So this time, you're bringing yourself in, giving yourself a nice hug here, still moving from side to side. We're going to cross all our fingers on both hands. And then we're going to bring both hands down now around that left shin, right? We're going to send that right foot up and slowly lower it down. I'm just going to move all this stuff out of your view. And you're going to keep that right leg fully extended with the right foot flexed. So that right foot's flexed. And actually I'm going to keep this towel here under my neck. It really feels good in it. I feel like it's helping me to open my neck a little bit more. But you have to know your own body and what props work best for you. So go ahead and take both hands over that left shin. Right foot is flexed. Take a nice deep breath in. And on that exhale, that's when you're going to kind of pinch that shin and slide it toward the left armpit. And remember, we're not pushing down on that left shin. You want to kind of just squeeze the shin and guide that left knee toward the left armpit. The right foot's pushing forward, nice and flexed, and the left knee is coming behind you. Breathing through it. Remember, inhale is when we power up, we fill the lungs with all that positive energy. And on the exhale, that's when the body softens so that we can go ahead and see if you can move that left knee, slide that left knee toward that left armpit, maybe a little bit deeper. Right foot is still flexed. So we're going to move that left leg again. We're going to open up that left leg just like we did on the other side. But this time I'm going to use a block to rest my leg on so you can see how to do it with a bolster or a block. And always the great thing about blocks is it helps bring the earth closer, and it can be flat, it can go on the side, it can go up this way. So you have a lot of different options. So I'm gonna slowly start to open up that left leg onto the block. And so, you know what? I can feel today, I think I'm gonna go a little bit higher on this side of the block, not the flattest side, not the highest side. So my right foot is still flexed. Yeah, that feels good. I'm gonna lift I'm gonna take my right palm now and place my right palm on top of my right hip and just gently guide that right hip toward the earth. And then I'm gonna take the left palm and place the left palm on the inside of the left leg. Could be at the knee or the shin or the thigh, whatever's comfortable. Because we're really trying to open up the other side of the hip, just like we did on the right side. Now we're doing the left side. So that right foot's flexed, toes reaching toward the sky. We're gonna start to connect to breath here. So on that nice inhale, Belly's rising up, and then on that slow exhale, just slowly with that right palm, guide the right hip toward the earth and the left leg toward your blocks or bolster, whatever you have. And making sure that your shoulders have a good contact with the mat as well. Breathing in and out. That exhale, the body softens and gently guiding toward the earth, which is nice. Beautiful. And now we're slowly going to come out of it in about 2 more breaths. So take 2 more breaths here. That full inhale, filling up like a balloon, my belly's rising. On that exhale, body's softening, body's opening a little bit deeper. Beautiful. 1 more breath. That nice exhale, Ujjayi Pranayama. And slowly start to bring your knees together. We're going to come into a nice tight hug this time, but slowly. So slowly bring that right knee in and join the left knee to the right. Bring those knees in toward the chest. Maybe you're lifting your shoulders up off the earth and maybe the lower part of the seat's off too. Just give yourself a nice hug. Beautiful. And then slowly recline, keeping those knees where they are right now. We're going to be coming into a reclining twist. So I've got my blocks here. I like to use blocks when I'm coming into a reclining twist. I like to have a few. So if you have a couple of hard-covered books or your blocks, because you could put one block under the leg that's on the base leg, the bottom leg, and then you could maybe put a block between your knees, or you could stack it up. So I just like to have the options, and I also tend to have a blanket nearby. Sometimes I put a blanket behind me to kind of give me a little bit of support in the twist. So that's all up to you. And these are all just really nice options for your restorative practice. So we're going to bring the arms up so your knees are still up, and let's slowly open the arms to a T. And once you've done that, we're going to just slowly lower the legs to the left. I'm going so that base leg really should be on the earth. So if you're finding that there's a little bit of space between that base leg and your mat, take a block or a towel and just make sure that bottom leg is supported and it's kind of not floating in the air, because that's not really good for the lower back. So make sure that bottom leg is either on your mat or is on a prop of some kind. Then you want the arms are at a T. For me right now, I think I'm going to place a block between my knees so that top leg has something to lean onto it, so I'm not straining my lower back. Your shoulders should be on the mat. If you're finding that your shoulders are kind of lifting up, you can take another block or something and just lean those legs up, and your shoulders should then have really good contact with your mat. You can gaze over toward the right fingertips or up toward the sky. I am going to move my rolled up towel nice and close to my entire back, going down to my seat. I have my arms open to a T, gazing over toward my right fingertip. So that lower back is probably holding you in a little more tightly than you need to be in this twist. So let's take a nice full breath in and a slow exhale, and just kind of imagine any of that tension that's in the lower back is released. And do that a few times until you find yourself a little bit more comfortable in the twist. So breathe in that positive breath. Slow exhale, releasing from that lower back. Maybe you're moving the blanket closer to you, behind you, or further away. I always have, like I said, I always have my props. I like to play with it. During class, sometimes I even find something new to do with my props that help me come into the pose a little bit deeper. I've got a little bit of a rolled blanket underneath my neck. I've got one behind my back. I'm gazing over toward my right fingertips. Sometimes when I don't have a blanket under my neck, I'll look up It's just a little bit more comfortable. I listen to my body very carefully, especially my cervical spine. So many people have had, some kind of issue with their neck. So I really advise listening very closely to the body. Take 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then a slow exhale. If you have anything behind your back, just go ahead and move it away. If you have any of your blocks under your knees, you can move those away too. And just slowly start to roll yourself onto the back here. We're going to heel toe our feet to the edges of the mat, and we're going to windshield wiper the legs out, okay? Very nice. And just do that a few times. And stay where you are. Again, I'm going to just move to the other side so I can come into the twist and you can see the side where my legs are landing, because that's really what you want to see. So just like with the other sequence we did before, we were stretching the knees and the legs up and sliding with both hands around them, you can use also the bolster to come into a twist. So I'm just going to show you this, that you have, so you see all these options that you have, keeping my props nearby, and I'm going to put that nice rolled up blanket under my neck because it really felt great. I really took a lot of the tension that I usually find in my neck away. So again, listening to your body, bring those knees in. Let's go ahead and open those arms to a T. And this time we're going to lower both legs to the right. So if you want, you can lower onto your bolster. And you can see how on the other side, my knees, I had space between my knees, but because I'm on this bolster and it's lifting my legs up higher, I don't have any openness here. So I'm just nice and aligned. I'm stacked over my legs. The earth is coming nice and close for me on this bolster. I'm gazing over toward my left hand. Remember, you can gaze up toward the sky. Arms are at a T. Thinking about that lower back. Now take a nice full breath in. Slow exhale to allow any tension in that lower back just to release and let go. And I'm going to move this blanket now. I rolled up a nice blanket and I'm going to put it behind me to give me a little bit of support on my spine, all the way from my neck down to my seat. And that really helps you stay in the twist. And you just want to make sure that you're at a comfortable place. So you don't want to leave it too far away that you're overextending, or too close so that you're really not getting the benefit of the twist. So just kind of play with the props till you find your comfort. Inhaling and exhaling. Gazing over the left hand or up toward the sky. Really enjoying your props, giving you a little bit of support, allowing you to come nice and deep into your poses without straining the body. Full breath in and out here. And a slow exhale. Beautiful. Now I'm going to start to move my rolled up towel away from me so that I can slowly start to roll onto my back here. And from here, we're going to come into bridge pose. So I do recommend in bridge pose that you use your blocks and you listen to your body. So I've got my blocks handy. What we're going to do after we lift our hips up and coming into bridge poses, we're going to place the block underneath our sacrum. So you can use a blanket, or you can use a book. You can fold your blanket and place it under your sacrum. So just kind of play with your props. Mostly though, listen to your body, and you can also stay flat on the earth in bridge pose and engage the legs at the same time. So if you're not going to lift the hips, you want to still push the soles of the feet into the earth and engage your quads, just like you'd be lifting your hips. So finding bridge pose, soles of the feet are on the earth, your feet are about hip distance apart. Your fingertips are just touching your heels. From here, you have to find your comfort. So maybe you need your feet out a little wider, in a little bit deeper. Maybe this pose is just going to be what it is right now. So from here, see if you can just walk your shoulder blades together just a little bit underneath you to open up your chest. And that will help ground your shoulders into the earth. Because once we lift the hips up, you're going to have a lot of the weight on the shoulders. So let's start this out by, again, making sure you have your block or your blanket handy. And you're just going to push the soles of the feet into the earth, lifting up the hips and the quads. And once you've got those hips up as high as you can go ahead and place that block or blanket underneath your sacrum. And then you're just going to lower the body onto the block. And notice that you've got probably from the midpoint of your back down to your seat is off the earth. So the only thing that's on the earth right now, aside from the soles of your feet, are your shoulders and your neck and your head. So I'm still kind of lifting, but the block is doing a lot of the work because this is a restorative bridge. So breathing in and out, gentle breaths in and exhale to release onto that block. If anything doesn't feel right, you can always remove the block. Slowly lower yourself onto the mat. Bring those knees in towards your chest for a light hug. Just listen to the body here. So perhaps you're not using the block and you're just landed on the mat, and that's fine too. If this feels really good, then you should stay here. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, knowing that you have a healthy back and that this is something that will feel better for you, you can lift the hips up and turn the block on the wider side and bring that right under you. I meant the longer side, not the wider side. And place it under the sacrum here, maintaining that bridge pose with the hips up. My legs are still working. I'm not allowing my entire body weight to be on the block. I've got my soles of my feet are pushed into the mat. I've got my quads reaching up toward the sky and my hip too. So I want to say most of my weight is on the block because we are bringing the earth closer in that way, but I'm keeping my legs engaged. I don't want my legs to just be resting. Take a nice full breath in and a slow exhale out. One more breath. Now, if you did turn your block onto that higher edge, lift your hips up and lower it back down to the lowest side. There you go. Beautiful. Breathing in and out. Take a few breaths here. Breathing in and out. Again, on my feet, I'm pushing my feet into the mat. I'm lifting my hips up. My quads are active. My fingertips are just touching my heels. I'm just kind of making sure my feet are about hip distance apart. One more breath here. On that big breath in, take a slow exhale and now melt onto your block. Good. So we're going to push the hips up just enough so that we can remove anything that we have under the sacrum, your blanket, your block, and from the shoulders, all just slowly roll down from the upper back down to the mid back and then to the seat. And once that lower seat melts into the mat, has good contact with the mat, bring the knees in. Don't bring the knees together. Just bring the knees in a little bit. Notice that my knees don't have contact with each other and just move from side to side. Don't be afraid to go all the way down onto the side. Then you're massaging the side too, okay? Nice. Beautiful. And then come to center now. So from here, we're going to come into our inversion. Again, we're going to be using either a block or a rolled up towel, or you can even use your hands, or you may not even want to use any kind of prop to come into your inversion. So I'm going to start out. I feel like I'm not going to use a prop on this one, but I will definitely show you how. So you're going to bring those legs up. Your feet are flexed. You can bring the block and put it under your sacrum, and that will be lifting the hips up nice and high. And that will help to keep your feet engaged. You know what? I think I am going to use this prop. So I'm going to move it around because I don't feel like I have the right placement. So before I come deeper, there we go. So that feels a lot better for me. So you want to make sure that your prop is giving you the right kind of support. It feels right. You can also put the blanket under your sacrum, or you can just connect your hands. So just find what's working for you. I sometimes put my hands under and I'll just stack my hand on top of each other or lock my fingers. It's really how your hands best connect underneath you to kind of give you the little bit of support or bringing the earth closer that you need. So my feet are flexed. My feet are flexed, my heels are reaching toward the sky. This inversion is really great for circulation. A lot of people use this and hold their legs in an inversion, sometimes for 20 minutes a day, and they find that it really helps them. Of course, you'd have to check with your own healthcare providers to find out if this is something that's good for you. But I am aware that people who have swollen ankles, swollen feet, find the swelling goes down after coming into an inversion like this. And you don't have to have your feet up like this for your inversion. You can rest your feet on a big pillow. You just want to make sure that the feet are elevated above the heart. So you don't want to kind of just have them down on the couch when you're sitting. You want them up, and you may notice a reduction in swelling of the ankles and that kind of a thing. Let's start to point and flex the feet. Point, flex, point, and flex. And just start to rotate the ankles a little bit. And then just come back to your inversion. We have about 2 more breaths here. Breathing in and out. 1 more breath. And then just slowly moving whatever you have under your hips. If you have anything under your sacrum, you can move them out. And we're going to find our happy baby. So go ahead and bring your arms between your knees and grab onto the outside of your feet. And so this is happy baby. Your heel is stacked over the knee. You're gently pulling down on the feet to bring the knees closer toward the earth. And just move from side to side here, just for a moment or two. You can stretch out one leg or the other. Nice. And then come to stillness in your happy baby and slowly start to guide the feet together. And then you're going to lower the feet, coming into reclining butterfly pose, but this time without the props. Remember in the beginning of class, we used the bolster. You can still grab a prop if you want to place it under the knee. Just push the feet together, just with gentle force. And as you're doing that, bring the knees together. Go ahead and extend the legs out, finding your comfortable Shavasana, taking a rest. Placing the palms up toward the sky, hands are on the earth, gently allowing the feet to open. Just taking a breath or two here in your final rest. Deep breath in. Nice. Slowly bring those hands up over the head, coming into a nice full body stretch here. Beautiful. Bring those knees in toward the body. And we're going to roll onto our right side. Bring those knees in toward the chest. Using that right arm as a pillow. Coming into Garbhasana, which is fetal pose, represents a fresh start and a new beginning. You can bring the knees in nice and close toward the body. And slowly push yourself up into that nice, comfortable yoga seat. Take a nice full breath in and out. Crown of the head reaching up toward the sky, shoulders stacked over the hips. You can bring those hands together. And I'd like to thank you all for allowing me to guide you through this restorative yin practice. I hope to see you all again. Have a wonderful, wonderful morning. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om, which is peace. Peace to you and to all of your families. Namaste.